please identify if we do have a quorum?
Yes, we do, Mr. President.
For the record, we do have a quorum. We will now go into, please note that this meeting of the Seguin Independent School District has been duly called, and the notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Section 551.043 of the Texas Government Code. So next agenda item is we will do the pledge of the United States flag, the Texas flag, and Ms. Carter, would you please lead us in the pledge, ma'am? Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I appreciate that. Would you please now bow your heads for a moment of silence? Thank you. And we will move on to the next item. This is the superintendent announcements. Mr. Rowan, please.
Thank you, sir. Since our last meeting, we have several highlights that I would like to share with the board and the community. This week we began the first round of spring semester STAR testing. Today, our 4th and 7th graders took the writing exam, while 5th and 8th graders took the math test. English 1 was administered at the high school. Tomorrow, we have 5th and 8th grade reading, and Thursday, the English 2 test will be taken at the high school. I am confident that our teachers have gone above and beyond to prepare our students for these exams, and as a result, our students will do a great job on this round of STAR tests. 18 Seguin school students competed in the Alamo Regional Science and Engineering Fair in San Antonio on February 27th. Each received recognition for their projects during the award ceremony following the competition. Three of these students have advanced to the State Science Fair to be held this Thursday through Sunday in San Antonio. So that's an awesome feat, getting on to the next level. The Regional Destination Imagination Tournament was held in Bernie in late February. We had 16 DI teams from Seguin ISD compete, and I am proud to report that 6 of these teams have advanced to state competition near Dallas this coming weekend. Congratulations to our 2 teams from Seguin High School, 2 Breezy Meister Middle School teams, 1 Barnes Middle School team, and 1 Weiner Elementary School team. We hope that you all advance to global competition at the state tournament. Seguin High School's band students continue to excel. Recently, 64 Matadors competed at the UIL Solo Ensemble Contest in shirts. 54 of these students earned a first division rating. That's amazing. This includes 45 students who have qualified for the state solo ensemble contest to be held in May. That's again another feat. Congratulations to those students and Steve Vaden, Director of Bands at Seguin High School, for a job well done. And thanks for the parents and all the kids that have been supporting all the endeavors that have been going on. We've got, let's see, this month, 30 students from the Seguin High School chapter of Business Professionals of America competed in the BPA State Leadership Conference in Corpus. We had 1 student advance to the National Leadership Conference in Massachusetts, plus 4 teams and 3 individuals advance to finals and qualify as national alternatives. I mean, these things that our kids are doing are amazing. I mean, getting to the final levels, it seems like almost everything they're doing. Seguin High School's one-act play company advanced to the by-district level last week after competing against 6 schools on March 24th in San Marcos. We wish these students the best of luck during by-district competition on Friday in San Antonio. This Saturday, the Seguin High School Matador Varsity and Junior Varsity Color Guards compete at the TECA State Championships at Canyon High School. The Junior Varsity Guard is ranked 1st in the 5A novice class, while Varsity is 2nd in the 5A Schedule A class. These young ladies have done a tremendous job representing Seguin ISD all year, and we hope they can bring the state championship home to Seguin. Our campus parent liaisons are hosting a free community health and wellness fair on Thursday. The event will be held at Potlawn Elementary School from 5 to 7 p.m. The health fair will feature several area businesses and organizations and is open to the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ron. I'd like to state that we're very proud of our kids with all the extracurricular activities that they're doing and advancing as much as they are. And thank you for keeping us informed. And as everyone is aware, it is on our website and to be shared for everyone. So as you see these kids, please send them our thanks and congrats. On another note, I do see a lot of administration, the principals here. On behalf of the board, and would you please pass down to your teachers, thank you for the hard work they're doing with the testing that's going on and that will continue. You have your support group here, but you have a support group from this board, and we know y'all are giving 110%, and from the bottom of my heart, I'd say thank you for every child that you make successful, and we're behind you, so please pass it on to your teachers. Anything else for Mr. Roan announcements? Okay, hearing none, we will now move on to the good stuff. This is the fun stuff. This is the campus recognition presentation of Kennedy Elementary. Ms. Moreno, please. Oh, do I need? Nah, we don't need you. Well, we need Ms. Moreno.
Thank you for that, brother.
Good evening, Mr. Roan, Mr. Flores, Board of Trustees. My name is Cindy Moreno, and I am the proud principal of Kennedy Elementary. This evening, we have some members of our robotics club under the direction of Mr. Terry, the school counselor. Our robotics club has been in existence for 2 years, and in those 2 years, they have been recognized and awarded at their regional competitions. So we've got some smart babies, and this is just a sample of our team.
Okay, thank you for having us. We're happy to be here. Like Ms. Moreno said, this is our second year having robotics club. I brought with me 4th graders today because our 5th graders are testing tomorrow, like I mentioned. So these kids were testing today, and so they did a real good job, I'm sure. And so we brought with us some inventions, I want to call it. We know we had a holiday recently, and I kind of sprang this on them about 2 weeks ago. I said we needed to figure out a way to launch, throw, sling, kick, whatever, some eggs. And so they've been working on it the last couple weeks, and they're going to share with y'all kind of what the idea is, what their thought was, and hopefully we'll shoot some eggs. But I will say these robots, they like to get stage fright, so we're going to hope that doesn't happen. So Laurel, you want to tell them about yours? I'll do it.
Do we duck?
No.
Mine is supposed to launch the egg into the air.
Okay, who was Susan talking? Francisco or? All right, so what was y'all's idea?
We're gonna roll the egg.
Okay, and this one's kind of our wild card. Kyra, let's see, explain what yours is on.
I'm going to fling the egg, but unpredictable what direction.
We never know what this one's going to do, so here we go. And so we're going to take these back next week with the whole robotics club. We're going to have an egg flinging, kicking, throwing contest, and we'll have a little contest of our own. And that's what I like to do is give them a problem of some kind and get them to work on a solution. It's problem solving, and we're thankful that the robots and everything's provided for us, so thank y'all.
Would you, before we dismiss, would you please have the kids introduce themselves? Awesome.
Yep, Kyra, walk around this way. This is Kyra Casey. She's in 4th grade. Okay, Aaron. Okay. It's just, line up. All right, Francisco Lopez. Okay, Alberto Juarez. Paul Haas. And Laurel Hagelgans. Do you have any questions for us or for the kids?
Any questions for board members for the kids?
I think at one time I stopped by and visited when y'all were, I think it was maybe 5th grade, in the robotics class, and we just really good stuff.
It's fun. It's something different all the time. We enjoy.
Boy, girl?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. Future leaders, just.
Did y'all compete in that Broncos?
Yes. We had a team place 6th place, 10th place, and I want to say 17th place out of about 40 teams.
And this is only your second year,
Yes,
correct? So that's good. This is
That's awesome.
we're starting somewhere, and y'all are taking this to the future. So keep up the good work, kids. Keep playing. You think you're playing, but you're engineering, and you'll be the future moving on. So thanks. Good job. Keep it up. Thank y'all. Line and who? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I didn't know who was to speak on this one. Miss Legore, please. Sorry, I was looking at Sean this time.
For once you don't get Sean, you give me and Mr. Escobar.
We'll take it. You will take it. Good day, huh?
President Flores, Mr. Roan, and members of the board, we're here to talk to you today about the new Community Truancy Hotline. So during school hours, students should be in school and not tweeting, but if they are tweeting, we want to find them. So that is the goal of what we're going to be talking about today. We all know that truancy negatively impacts students. We know that it results in educational failure, achievement gaps, and skill deficiencies with our students. We know that it increases the likelihood of dropping out of school. We know that there are higher rates of drug and alcohol use by students who are not attending school or that drop out, and the increased involvement with the criminal justice system. We also know that not being in school leads to challenging behaviors, because when students then do return to school after having missed school, well, they've missed out on a lot of instruction, so they don't necessarily know what's going on. And we find with students that if they don't know what's going on, it's better to look bad than to look stupid. So we get a lot of behavior issues that way. And we also know that it disrupts the education for all students, because when they do come back, teachers have to spend time on the students and what they've missed, and they've got a whole classroom of students who have been in class. So truancy isn't something that just impacts that one student, it impacts the whole entire classroom and the campus. We also know that truancy negatively impacts campuses, district, and the entire community. There's a loss of federal and state educational funding that directly impacts our budget as a school district. For the community, we have a less educated local workforce. And when that happens to a community, that impacts the economic development, as well as promoting the city, trying to get new businesses to come to town, trying to find employees for those businesses. And then for the community on a social services level, there's increased costs when you have unemployed people, and increased costs for law enforcement. So the cost and impact of truancy are significant, not just for the student, but also for their family, their ability to make money, and the campus itself, Seguin ISD, the city of Seguin, and Guadalupe County. So truancy is a critical element, not just for our school district, not just for our funding, but for the entire community to be successful. So these are things that we all know, and that's not just Seguin, this is every town in every state, not just in the United States, but everywhere. So we're focusing on Seguin High School today, because that's where a lot of our truancy lies, because those kids are mobile. They have cars, and they can get places. And they have people that they can find that can help them get places. So we have Seguin High School has truancy intervention. Mr. Escobar and his team at Seguin High School coordinates really well with my department and the attendance component of the student services team. And the things that we work together on are having automated phone calls to parents and guardians. Parents might not like those, but those robocalls are there to communicate to them when their child's not in school. And when the child says, oh yes I was, oh no they were not, because the teachers input that information and it's accurate. Student support officers from the Student Services Office conduct home visits. They go to parents' work. They want to make sure that parents are informed, also to talk about behavior intervention plans with the students and with the parents. Attendance intervention meetings happen at the campus, and this is to make students aware of the fact that they've got attendance issues and what they need to do to fix it. So they've got makeup hours and whatnot. Other things that have happened this year to try to combat truancy at the high school is the installation of a fence, which there's a picture of that up there. And the reason for that on the southwest side is because that's where students would often try to escape from. And now they cannot. What also comes with truancy at the high school is the need for mobile patrol. Really appreciate the added golf carts, that help patrol the area. And the picture at the top there, just coincidentally, yesterday, drove in, a little before 9, there comes a truant in the cart going to school. So, one had gotten caught and going to where they need to go. The high school's put into place many after-school opportunities for students to get back on track if they've been truant or if they're falling behind. That includes the after-school learning lounge. And then the high school's also implemented attendance incentives. If coming to school just for learning isn't enough, there are opportunities for students to get gift cards to Walmart as well as a local movie theater. Try to encourage, students, and they make it public, kind of a big deal, so that students are kind of excited about that. And then finally we get to truancy filings. The law changed with truancy courts this year. However, we are using the law to the extent that we can, and we have filed cases in truancy court. And now the implementation of the truancy hotline has been in place. It was an idea that Mr. Esquivel had, really in an effort to increase community involvement, to get kids in school so they can learn, the goal so they can graduate, and then upon graduation so they can be successful, productive members of the community. That is everyone's goal. And we do know that in spring we are hitting great, beautiful, wonderful weather, which is much harder to encourage students to really want to be inside those classrooms. And we also know at the campus that it's a rather open environment. The new school will be a much better facility in terms of truancy, but we have what we have right now. And there's a lot of exits that students can use. So there is a lot to get done between now and the next 46 days of school. We know all the standardized tests that are happening. We know those end of course exams. And so this is not time for students to check out. So it's a great time to implement a truancy hotline. What that is, that's the phone number for it, the 401-8030. Flyers have been distributed to local businesses, especially those areas, restaurants particularly, that are within the vicinity of the high school, because we know them well. Want to give them an opportunity, not to confront the students, that makes people uncomfortable, but a phone number to call that will be answered, so then we can come out and take care of business, and no one has to know who called. We want to encourage the community, not just these business owners, but anyone in the community who sees students off campus during the day to make a phone call. We'll check into it, and we will go find out if the student's supposed to be in school or not. The calls will be answered at the high school, and then if there are students who are really close by, a monitor administrator may go out, or a student support officer from my department will be dispatched. We know this is working because in the short time frame these flyers have been out, my office has already had 3 calls, and we found the students, because you have to be quick, and brought them rather reluctantly back to school. And we want to encourage, this does not just apply to Seguin High School, but to every parent of every student in the district, to encourage parents and families to get students to school on time every day, because every moment of time is an opportunity lost if education is not being provided, because missing school is missing out on an education. These are the truancy flyers. I provided you all with those in your packet tonight, so when you're out in the community and you see those, many businesses are posting them, and others are just making them available to their employees so that they know what that number is. And we're doing this because it's important that we all work together, the school and community, to work to get our kids and keep our kids in school. We know how important those last 46 days of school are. So Mr. Escobar is really the one who said, hey, we need to have a truancy hotline. And this is where it went.
Well, every day at, good evening, first of all. Every day at 4 o'clock, I get an attendance report, in my office from our attendance clerk. I cringe before I see it. I pray the rosary before I see it, because, sometimes it just seems like it's getting lower and lower. So I started to think, there's got to be something. And from what I know on my research on truancy is that it's a community problem, not just a school problem. So I wanted to get the community involved and just let us know, hey, there's some kids right here. I don't know if they're in school. Can you come check it out? Sure. We're on the way. And the kids know, and some of them are sitting in the back, although they wouldn't be truant. I've never seen them be truant. But anyway, they know that they're going to run out of spaces to go. I mean, that's the bottom line. Restaurants to eat, they got to be in school. That's the whole idea. So I'll tell you this much. The highest attendance we've ever had is when we have half days. So if the board wants to consider half days for the rest of the year, I am all about it. Yeah, 99% attendance the last half day we had. So I don't know. Maybe that's something. This is, like I said, you guys have your constituents. Please tell them, by all means, call. Call us. We want to be there to get those students and be able to get them back in school, and work with them as well. So.
Any questions?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Questions from the board? Ms. Schultz.
I'd like to add something to that. I've talked to Mr. Escobar on this extensively on a couple of different occasions, and him and his staff have gone to the extra step and have gone out to our local taco shops and our local eating establishments and have basically asked them to not serve any student after, I believe, what is it? 7:50. We were going to start at 8, but they went down to 7:50, which is even better. And actually, to my surprise, almost every single one of them has agreed to do that and has been implementing that. So Arlen's is also not letting them come in and buy them. That's cool. But just to let you know, so they're taking it even a step further than just putting this out there. They're actually working with the community and making sure that the restaurants and eateries are not allowing the kids to be served as well. So I commend you on that and your staff, and thank y'all very much for that.
Yes, I'd like to add that we've been to about 20 different areas, my student support officers with the flyers, and we've gotten 100% great response from the businesses saying this is great. And so there's been no negative response whatsoever. That says a lot.
So just real quick, the staff doesn't know this, but I'm going to tell them. One of the things that I've done in prior schools is done a neighborhood Saturday walk with staff members, administrators, just knock on doors, not too early, obviously, but let them know, hey, we're here from the school, I understand your kid hasn't been here for a while. Here's a flyer, call us, or can you find him for us? Sometimes it's the case, but walking the neighborhoods and letting the parents know that, hey, we're taking it, like you said, an extra step. We want you at our campus, and that's been successful for us. And so maybe that's in the work for our Seguin High School, staff to be able to do that on a Saturday. No problem doing that. And I think that'll let the parents know that we're really interested in them coming to school. If we're gonna go out there and do home visits like that and just spread out through neighborhoods and do that. So anybody that wants McQueenie, raise your hand over there. Anyway, that's something that I'd like to do also, with the parents.
Very good. Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, you mentioned that this program is focused on the high school. Is it? Do you have plans to bring it down to the middle schools at some point?
We actually just discussed that today, thinking that middle schools, the students really don't leave the middle school in terms of skipping. definitely as much as the high school. And elementary, that's not the case at all. That is just parents not getting their students to school. But middle school, we've seen a little bit more, especially springtime, and like I said, that good weather. And so we've had more patrols in the morning. So yes, we thought a couple of local areas by Breezemeister, it's the gas station right down the way, and then for Barnes, it's the chicken place across 123. Those are the two places we need to. And Walmart, of course, which is
Good. Any other questions, comments? Mr. Escobar, Ms. Laura, great work. That's what I think outside of the box and do whatever we can to get these kids back in the classroom. So thank you all very much. Good, great presentation. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me get to, all right, and before we move on to the next agenda item, I'd like to acknowledge and thank the kids from the government class. I don't know who your teacher is, but for the government class that are here, so welcome. Welcome. Okay, so now we're moving on to the 2016-2017 Master Schedule Development Unit. Mr. Rowe, who do we have speaking on this?
Dr. Scarborough?
Yes, sir, Dr. Scarborough.
President Flores, members of the board, Superintendent Roan, we're here tonight to talk about where we are in the master schedule process. The master schedule, you heard earlier, you saw these kiddos up here with their robotics. And part of that is when we look at master schedule is how do we provide opportunities that are going to engage kids? We heard the presentation about the truancy. You know, master schedule is an important piece of what we can offer a kiddo that's going to keep them engaged and want them to come to school. And so we're here tonight. We have our middle school principals. We have Michael Garza, Alyssa Carter, our coordinator for secondary education, Allison Pate, and our high school principal, Hector Escobar, here to assist. We want to present to you tonight where we are in our timeline, some of the new things that we've got in our course offerings, and hopefully that we tackle some of those issues that we heard previously. So a school schedule should be regarded as a tool to further priorities rather than an impediment to change. So the school schedule is critical. It can make or break a high school or a middle school. And so a lot of thought goes into that. And that quote comes from the DeFores, who are really about professional learning. So our timeline, we have two basic goals. Number one, in May of this year, we want to provide every single teacher with a copy of their schedule. A teacher needs to know what they're going to be teaching going into the summer. Now, why is that? Why is that important? Well, a teacher needs to be able to prepare, go to training, get their materials together, so that they can be the most effective possible when they're inside that classroom on day one. So if a teacher doesn't know what they're teaching going into the summer, and they show up a week before school, and then all of a sudden they get their schedule, it really defeats that effectiveness in the classroom. And the second thing is we want our kids to know what they're going to take. Because the kiddos should have a list of their courses. When they go home in the summer, before the summer, parents should have an opportunity to say, hey, Johnny, Susie, you shouldn't really be taking that course. Don't you have another course that you can take? And then our counselors and our administrative staff at the schools can take care of it before the first day of school. So ideally, we want our kids to walk in the first day of school and go to the classes, and that's going to eliminate all those class changes. 2 years ago, we had over 500 class changes in the first week of school. Last year, we reduced that tremendously. Our goal is to get that even lower this coming year. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Pate at this time and Mrs. Carter, and they're going to talk a little bit about the proposed schedule coming up.
We started on the proposed schedule here, the 2016-17 master schedule, back in December. And if you'll notice, there are the start and stop times for each middle school and then also the high school, and they are different. Research shows us that middle school and high school kids don't do so great at the crack of dawn. So let's follow research and start a little bit later. So we looked at the bus schedules, talked to transportation to see how all that would work, how siblings would travel from one school to another if they get dropped off. And this is the start time that we came up with for the middle schools at 8:10 and then 8:25 for Seguin High School. Something else that's different is the instructional periods for the two middle schools. The instructional periods this year are 8 periods, and we are taking that down to 7 periods. A couple of reasons we can do that. Research also tells us that combining reading and writing is a best practice, and then we're also incorporating writing throughout all of the other core subject areas throughout the day. And also to allow us to have more time in the core areas. Right now we're at 7 minutes, so we hope to increase that at Briesemeister, 53 minutes, and 55 minutes at Barnes. Seguin High School, I believe, has the same instructional periods.
Right.
Yes, and 47 minutes long for each one of those periods. Then you'll notice that at Briesemeister, we have an intervention time that's built into the day. That is something we've utilized extensively this year, where it's different for each grade level according to their needs. And that is a 25-minute period to revisit, refresh, intervene those SEs that students have not been successful at, or it's also used to enrich those kids that they have it all, but we just need to push them a little bit further. And so we've utilized that this year extensively, so we want to keep that for next year. And I don't know how to work this.
So in January, one of the things that we were really excited about was finalizing the middle and high school course catalogs and posting on the website and having a paper copy as well. And I believe all of you guys have a copy of both of those documents. Lots and lots, many hours of hard work. It was definitely a collaborative effort with many, many people. The course catalog might seem like it's just, a bunch of papers, but it's really more than that. It really was a process of going through literally the hundreds of courses that we offer in 6th through 12th grades, and really considering what are these courses, especially at the high school. How does it meet the needs of students in terms of graduation requirements? How does it meet the needs of students in terms of interests? We know with the early college, high school, that's an important piece as well with the endorsements of HB5. There's a lot that goes to it. So again, I can talk to the high school in the audience. We spent many, many hours really discussing these course catalogs and really wanting to make a resource that was useful. So we were very excited in January to be able to finalize that. Again, it's available on the website, and we also had paper copies that were made available to every student. And we also provided copies for teachers as well, so they could utilize that as a resource.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My part's going to be talking about the middle school catalog that we use. It's very extensive. It provides a lot of good information for our students, which is very helpful when it came to talking to the 6th graders through the 8th graders. Very good information for them. It outlines those courses for them. There's a very critical section in there that was created in there for our 8th graders, which talks about preparing for high school. And if you go through that piece of the catalog, you'll notice that through that, it outlines and walks those students step by step. So their next step and their next goal at going to the high school, it lays everything out for them. Ms. Baker and Ms. Ball at my campus were very influential as they talked to those students to ensure that they understand that, and our parents were very understandable what these pieces are going to help them learn through that part of the catalog. So that was a good piece. The next thing we talked about some highlights about our course offering. As Ms. Carter said, we did combine the English language arts and the reading classes. So those two were put together. We have a technology course, which coincidentally we talked about robotics, like Dr. Scarborough did, like the kids from Kinnicky did. There's classes that are going to be for those students as well to continue that progress through the middle schools, which I think is going to be very engaging for them. We also came together and said that, okay, with college readiness and the technology applications that our students are required to have, that we would combine those two for our 8th graders. And then again, we have health for them. So right now, all my 8th graders, when I talk to them, I say, okay, your schedule is pretty simple. You have 4 core classes, you have the technology and college readiness, plus you have the health class that is paired with that for 1 year. So there's 5 of your 7 courses already. So in talking with my students at the campus, I tell them, this is what needs to happen as you prepare to take your STAR test. we don't have room for nothing else, and then it's going to be the athletics or fine arts, which is very critical. But as Ms. Carter showed us earlier, when we have 55 minutes, it's important to work on the instructional part of our campus, as well as at AJB and the other ones. So that's why we went with the change of the 7th period. But combining those courses, especially the ELIR and the reading, is really going to help us a lot.
Good evening. We have something at the high school. It's where all the administrators work. We call it the war room. So, I mean, basically everybody at the high school knows, where are you? We're in the war room. And I want to say Mr. Diaz and Ms. Bennings are over there. They spent countless hours, and myself and Ms. Faith, in that war room creating this course catalog. I mean, when we looked at it, you know, it was my task to them was very simple. It's got to look like a college catalog. You know, there's plans for graduation and what your endorsement will be. You know, what are you specializing in? You know, that's what a college catalog has. So that's what you're going to see when you look at the high school catalog. It's basically outlined like a community college or a small college or university catalog. So just wanted to point that out. We're going to show you a really quick video at this time that our MathCast students created. And this was actually shown at the middle school, is that correct? Because we didn't have a fair where the kids came up to see the electives. Our kids filmed our electives in action, and then they showed it down there. So if y'all can, we can get the...
Here at Seguin High School, we are always striving to be a campus that offers students not only an education good as gold, but programs that they can enjoy making school more than just grades. We offer over 40 different options for students to choose from when enrolling in courses and clubs.
Today we will give you a look at some of these clubs, classes, and organizations to help you choose the right fit for you.
Athletics are a staple of any high school, and Seguin is no different. Students who are interested in being a part of our growing athletic program can try out to be on any team.
There are athletic periods offered during the day to help you reach your full potential. A few of the sports we offer here at SHS are football, volleyball, basketball, tennis, and even golf. And don't forget about cheer. Around here, that's a sport too.
While football brings the crowds in on a Friday night, the halftime show keeps them entertained. Our Mighty Matador Marching Band boasts an award-winning program that continues to elevate their art each year. From marching band to concert season, the band is one of SHS highlights.
Also in the Fine Arts Department are the Star Steppers who perform at halftime and the Matador Theater Department who put on numerous audience-pleasing shows throughout the year, which includes UIL one-act play competition. Fine Arts also include the Matador Choir and our Art Department.
No matter what fine art you choose to check out, this is a campus department that encourages students to explore their own creativity.
Did you know that SHS is now an early college high school? This distinction offers students the opportunity to graduate high school not just with their diploma, but with a 2-year degree from St. Philip's College. This is a great opportunity for students in our community that allows for flexibility and growth.
There are other options though, such as graduating with licenses and real-world work experience from classes in our CTE program.
CTE stands for Career Technology Education and is one of the fastest growing programs on campus. CTE offers students the opportunity to learn skills that vary from welding to cosmetology. CTE encompasses many different courses, so let's take a moment to go over a few of these with you.
First up is FFA, which offers many different courses from ag fabrication to horticulture, and even veterinary classes such as equine science. The Matador Journalism Department is also a part of CTE, and is the home of the Matador Yearbook, Cricket Church newspaper, and also MatCast student news and video production.
Whether you are into photography, design, writing, or video, Matador Journalism pretty much covers it all.
We also can't leave out the Erskine Health Science Academy. The school is hosted off campus, and students ride buses to and from their classes each day, where they are able to study nursing and even earn their CNA licenses while in high school.
While these are some of the bigger programs, CTE also offers classes in computer animation, computer science, law enforcement, and engineering. If you're into technological courses that have real-world opportunities that produce marketable skills, CTE has something for you.
While CTE handles the tech, ROTC takes things in a different direction. The Seguin Corps of Cadets is an NJ ROTC program associated with the U.S. Navy. This program requires the dedication, hard work, and a work ethic above and beyond the standard call of duty.
Each year, the Scorpions Unarmed Drill Team and the Mad Dogs Armed Drill Team compete for the chance to go to nationals, as does the Cyber Patriot Team. If you're interested in serving your country after graduation, ROTC can help you figure out where your place is in the service.
While these programs are all part of the SHS academic lineup, we also have an array of clubs and organizations to suit your interests. Student Council is a campus staple wherever you go, and is a great opportunity to build your resume while also having fun with friends.
Seguin Business Professionals of America chapter is known statewide for their excellence and leadership in the organization with SHS students who frequently hold state and even national offices.
We have plenty of academic and service-oriented clubs, such as NHS, UIL, HOSA, Interact, and Debate. But we also have entertainment clubs to fit those with special interests, such as chess, anime, movies, and creative writing.
SHS is a big school for a growing community, and we are always striving to make this a school that has something for everyone.
Good job. I hope you enjoyed the video catalog. Okay, so basically, you know, in your catalog, you're going to find the pathways. I do want to point out something. I know we don't have a lot of time, but we want to do something next year at the 9th grade level that we're calling prevention intervention. So what we're doing, instead of, because we don't really have the flexibility of having 7 periods or 6 periods, because we have credits in high school. So the kids have to take, you know, get 26 credits to graduate. However, what we're doing is we're going to double block our lowest performing 8th grade students in Algebra 1 and in English 1. So what does that mean? They're going to go to their English 1 class, and then they're going to go to a freshman reading class. So they're still going to have both. And then they're going to go to the Algebra 1 class, or go to a class called Strategic Learning for High School Math. So in that way, we're going to catch up their skills through those classes, and then they're also going to be in the regular classes. So we're hoping that if their skills are low, that we're going to catch them up, and they're going to do just fine when it comes to EOC time. So that's something that we call prevention intervention. Along with that, you know, we're expanding our health academy. You know, a lot of offerings that you'll probably see in a little bit with social media marketing, all kinds of classes. And again, it's giving the kids opportunities to be successful in this century. You know, these are things that are happening already that are businesses. So we want to make sure we tap into that market. Obviously, the early college high school, we're in year 3. We have to expand our dual credit offerings, sociology, psychology, biology. We're offering a lot of new classes. So very proud of being able to provide those opportunities for our kids. So I'm not sure who's next.
So one of the things, as Mr. Escobar is saying, that we wanted to make sure, though, with so many options, we wanted to make sure that parents and students really understood what their 4 years at high school would look like. Especially with early college high school, our 8th graders are making decisions about their early college high school pathway. So a 14-year-old is deciding, you know, what their future is going to look like and what those 4 years will look like. And that's really, it's a lot. It's a lot of information. We talk a lot, especially with the endorsement piece that was added with House Bill 5. That's complex even for us. So for parents who aren't living education every day like we are, it's even more complex. So again, so many hours were put into this resource to make sure that it was set up as a college resource, as Mr. Escobar said, but that it was understandable for parents and students. And so again, many, many hours, possibly some blood, sweat, and tears, like Mr. Diaz went into creating these 4-year course outlines. And this sample is up there and it's kind of small, but again, you have a paper copy. And in the back, the last appendix of the high school course catalog contains these 4-year course samples. So a 4-year course outline was created for each endorsement. Again, we are proud in Seguin ISD to say that we offer all endorsements that are part of House Bill 5. And so we offer all endorsements for our students. And so for each endorsement, a 4-year course outline was created that also aligns with CTE sequences. You saw in the course catalog that we are also very proud to say that we offer a wide variety of career and technology education courses. So we wanted to create these resources for students and parents to see what would that look like. And so you can see at the top, again, all the grade levels, you see the core classes. As Mr. Esquivel just talked about, we know that there are core classes that students will have to take. And so you have those outlines there. Again, some options. Some are pretty straightforward. You have to take these classes, but then some are open as well. And then on the bottom, you see the sequences, and those are the ones that are colored in yellow, and those are the career and technology education sequences. And then it has some options for required electives or opportunities for electives. And so as you go from the top to the bottom, it's 8 periods in a day. So again, it's designed to be a resource. So if I'm a student who is interested in a public services endorsement, I want to go the EMT route, which you see at the bottom there, I can then, going into my 9th grade year, get a sense of what my courses will look like in my 9th through 12th grade year. So again, lots of hours were put into this, but we were really excited to have a resource for parents in particular and students to be able to get a sense of course planning. What will my students' 4 years of high school look like?
And I talked a little bit about this, but I want to leave you with this thought, and I think that it all kind of makes sense. We're moving into a new state-of-the-art high school, in 2017, I hope, 2017. So, we really have to change the way we're doing some things, to fit the new high school, maybe possibly changing the way we're educating our students, more technology-driven, instruction, more different ways of doing things. We call it at the high school transformational learning, and my staff is tired of hearing that. But that's what it really is. You completely transform what you're doing without sacrificing any of the basics, obviously. But we want our kids to compete with every other high school that's already doing these things. So we need to make sure we're on board for that. It's going to be some change, but it's going to be a very good change that is in line with what everybody else is doing, maybe up east or on the West Coast. Somehow Texas always does things last, in education, I'm not sure why. We do a lot of great things, but a lot of our ideas, really come from out of the state of Texas. So I just wanted to point that out. New building, new way of doing things. So I'll leave Dr. Starr over that.
Well, in closing, again, this is a process, and so right now, they've got all the student course loads. They have over 50 or 60 kids sign up for those middle school robotics classes. We haven't had that in the past. And so right now, the big task for our principals, that's why their eyes are red right now, not only STAR testing end of course, but they're also having to think about building the master schedule. And so they're working on that very, very hard. So I want to say that this is a team effort. I want to thank the Board of Trustees, Mr. Roan, who allows us to do the work that needs to be done. That sets an expectation that's high for us, because we want every single kid to have an opportunity to really do what they want to do in life. We want to thank, of course, this group right here, administrators, the counselors. We couldn't list everybody up there, but our instructional coaches, our department heads, our teachers, fine arts, Mr. Bewley, spent many hours trying to align those courses. Coach Gerlich, as an athletic director, interim, came over and helped out. PE coordinator Pete Silvius, Bill Lewis in the technology, the keeper of the knowledge of courses. The most instrumental person in this whole district is Yolanda Garcia in technology. Amazing resource. And of course, the help of Allison Pape and the CNI staff. So thank you all very much, and thank you for your attention tonight. Any questions?
Any questions? Yes, Mr. Holt.
Okay. Now, the health credit that we're giving to the 8th graders, will that count towards the high school GPA as well?
No, sir.
It will not? Okay. All right.
Under board policy, any credits earned in middle school do not go into GPA.
Correct.
Okay with that, yeah.
Okay, and then I have a question, and this is a more personal and something that we're looking at, because I've looked at that high school pamphlet course catalog, and let me tell you, it reminded me of some days back, but sitting down with my daughter. But with the different bell schedules for the middle school and high school timelines, how are we going to accommodate the students that are advanced in certain areas? Like, for instance, a student that's an 8th grader but is taking ninth grade math because they've been moved up a year. Are we considering that, or is there other options as maybe we can do it via online and have a middle school teacher that's familiar with that do that? So I mean, I'm just questioning that. And then my other question was relative to the enrichment programs. The enrichment is of course our GT students, you know, keeping them challenged, and the intervention is for lower performing students. And I think you mentioned a couple of aspects that we're trying to, at Breezemaster, that we're trying to intervene there to boost them up. So I just want to make sure we're considering all those and keeping those in line and not taking away from them, because our kids are very active. I mean, you heard how many announcements did he make about all the extracurricular activities during superintendent announcements. I mean, it's amazing what our kids are doing, and that's a lot of that brings them to school. A lot of that keeps them from being truant. And so we want to make sure that we keep them active into that as well as get the instruction out to them. But just keep those things considering to make sure that we coordinate those both schedules. Even though I do like that, transportation likes it apparently. So thank you.
Will do, sir. The advanced academics, you know, we also have looked at a resource that's a virtual resource. So we can have kids that are advanced take courses online that don't have to have the teacher in front of them. And we're not going to hold them back. If they want to take calculus, we have a freshman right now taking calculus at TLU. So it's amazing. So the advanced academics part is very important to high school and middle.
Thank you. Any other questions? Dr. Scarborough, thank you, and for your core team. A lot of work in there, and thank y'all very much. And keep up the good work. Okay. Once again, thank you, and we'll go on to the next agenda item. This is we have no one signed up for audience with the board, so we will move on to the next agenda item with action items. This is going to be the approval of the board minutes for February 23rd, 2016 regular meeting and March 10, 2016 special meeting. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Holt, second by Mr. Reyes. Is there any discussions? Any corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. No opposition. That motion passes. Next agenda item is the approval of the school calendar 2016-2017. Mr. Rowe.
Mr. Hoffman, we're going to let you come up here for a second.
President Flores, Mr. Rowan, and board members, what you have in your packet is the proposed 2016-2017 instructional calendar. This calendar was put together through a series of meetings with the Superintendent's Teacher Communication Council. We meet monthly, usually starting in September, and we began the calendar process back in January, and over a course of 3 meetings. This is the calendar that was approved by a quorum of the TCC on March 7th. So this is a result of the administrative team getting their heads together, looking at it, analyzing dates and some new legislation and things. Basically what it boils down to is our teachers are on 187-day contracts, so we have to build this calendar around their contractual obligation to be on duty for 187 days. We also want to maximize our student experience in the classroom as well, and not cut back on days that students are in school, but maintain at a minimum what we have in the past. So with the state telling us that on the week of August 22nd, that's when we have to start school. You have the calendar before you. Some must-have dates are in there as far as holidays and vacation dates and that sort of thing. Couple options that were considered were moving the grading period for the elementaries from 9 to 6 weeks, so we have that standardized across the board. TCC was in favor of that, as well as something we bring up every year. Teachers, do you prefer ending the first semester before the Christmas holidays, or do you like going into January and ending it? And our teachers prefer ending that first semester before the Christmas holidays, so our students don't forget everything during the Christmas break. So if you do approve this calendar, I would ask you to do so with one correction that I'll point out, one note. Dr. Gordo pointed this out earlier, that on January 2nd, I'm sorry, on June 2nd, you see a small M as a makeup day. That M would move actually over to June 3rd on a Saturday. So in order to maintain that 187-day integrity for our teachers' contracts, should we, in the odd chance that we do have 2 bad weather makeup days next year, that Saturday would be considered one for our teachers, not our students. And I would entertain any questions as well.
Are there any questions from the board members? Once again, this is a recommendation from the staff and the Teacher Communication Council. Mr. Hoffman, thank you.
Thank you.
For the recommendations. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion is made. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Motion made by Mr. Holt, second by Mr. Guerra. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. No opposition. That motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Hoffman. Let me see where we're at. Okay, next agenda item is the approval to authorize administration to request a waiver from TEA for required minutes for pre-K program. Mr. Roan, who do we have for that?
Mr. Lewis?
Mr. Lewis. Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Flores, Superintendent Roan. This tonight kind of goes with our new schedule, the new minutes requirements for students and not instructional days anymore. When they put those original rules out, there was a lot of questions about pre-K because your pre-K programs were based on their half-day funding. That's all you get for pre-K. You can go 25 hours a day if you want to. You're going to get a half-day funding for those pre-K kids. So the required minutes were to make sure you had to have a minimum of 2 hours to 4 hours of instruction a day for kids. We run about 185 minutes a day, well within the half-day requirements, and that's what most people do because we run a morning and an afternoon pre-K. Well, the state has come back and said, well, you got to do, you still have to do your minimum minutes in pre-K, but we didn't think that through the first time, so you can get a waiver this year if you want, so that way we can rethink how we do pre-K. The staffing's different than middle school, your busing's a little bit different, services you offer and things, so we'd like to have the opportunity to have another year the state's allowing to put the pre-K half-day minute requirements into place. It's going to require some overlap between kids coming and going and those kind of things. So we're not going to change our pre-K program. We're going to offer the same number of minutes we did this year, which the state's allowing. So, and that's what the request is today, so that I can file a waiver. Has to have board approvals to file that waiver.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. You've heard the recommendation from administration. Is there any motions made by Mr. Reyes? Second. Second by Mr. Holt. Is there any discussion? Any questions? Here now, this is a file. This is the file for the state, and that is the recommendation of the administration. So we have a motion and a second, and no questions. So all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. No opposition. Motion passes. Thank you, sir. And let's see. Next agenda item is, this will be the second reading and approval of the proposed board policy changes in accordance with the TASB Localized Policy Manual Update 20.05.01-CCG Local and EIE Local. Mr. Rowe.
Unless you have any questions, this is the second reading of a policy that is required by TASB. So
this is, yes, sir, Mr. Rowe, thank you. This is the second reading, so this is the second time this has come to us. Do we have a motion for approval? Motion has been made by Mr. Reyes for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Thomas. His motion has been made and second. Is there any discussion? No changes from the first reading, correct, Mr. Rowe?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no changes, no discussion. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. No opposition, motion passes. Thank you, sir. And next agenda item is second reading and approval of the revised board policy EIA logo. Mr. Rowe.
Unless there are any further questions, only a revision was made that I believe one of the board members last meeting pointed out a spelling error or something. I can't remember what it was, but we adjusted that.
Very well, second reading. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion been made by Mr. Thomas, second by Mr. Gitta. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. No opposition. That motion passes. Thank you, sir. Next agenda item is the approval of the tax collections report for February 2016. I have a motion for approval by Mr. Reyes. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Gitta. Is there any discussion, questions, or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. No opposition. That motion passes. Thank you. And the next agenda item is the approval of the budget reports and amendments for February 2016. I have a motion for approval by Mr. Reyes. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Gitta. Motion has been made by Mr. Reyes, second by Mr. Gitta. Is there any discussion in regards to the budget reports for amendments February 2016? Yes, sir. Mr. Holt.
We received a revised,
Yes, sir.
just because there's so much data in here. Can you point out exactly what the revisions are?
Yes, sir.
Yes, there was a typo on the third column where it dragged down $6 million. That is supposed to be $200. That's it.
So for the record,
And it was to the positive, not to the negative.
So for the record, this is approval for the revised amended budget that is provided to us. For any other discussions? Hearing none. Motion been made and second. Hearing no discussions, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. No opposition. That motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Roan. Mr. Secretary, is there a need to go into closed session? No need to go into, no, sir? All right, no, there is no necessity to go into closed session. And Mr. Roan, do you have anything else or at the moment?
No, I think I'm good. Just I just want to say to the principals that are here,
yes,
spread it to your peers. I appreciate the work that you're doing. Keep it up. You're, just keep pushing forward and keep find some more kids. Anybody that's bubble kid, get them across. Anybody that's bubble kid for commended, get them across. Do the best you can. I have faith in you.
Thank you. Any comments from board members before we adjourn? Yes, sir, Mr. Holt.
In honor of our former board member, Irma Lewis, the Irma Lewis Outdoor Learning Center is holding their 8th annual Cajun Jamboree this Saturday from 6 to 9, and it's a great festivity to raise money for the Outdoor Learning Center, which is a very positive location for our students throughout. And we utilize that often throughout the elementary schools and all through FFA and our local organizations. And I just commend them for the awesome job they're doing out there. And just if you have the opportunity to attend that festivity, it's a great festivity. A lot of good crawfish too. I don't get to eat crawfish at home, so I love going to the Cajun Jamboree, but just wanted to make that announcement as well.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments from board members? Hearing none. It is now 7:34. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.